Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's Matthew here, local bro, back at it again. Today we're going to check out how good was Ray Lewis actually. Yes, it is time. Finally, I got them down to do this video. This video that, I don't know, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 of you guys have been slamming down my throat for weeks, months. Bro, this has been probably the most highly requested video I ever had. This one and Lawrence Taylor, which is also coming up, of course. So for this one, I would really appreciate if you guys can take, let's say, about 20 likes down below. I want 20 likes on this video. Bro, this is going to be hype. I've just seen pictures of this guy. I've seen like some fragments of his highlights here and there. Bro, this video is going to be absolute fire. Give me those likes down below and let's go. How good was Ray Lewis actually? Let's go.
In a game of gladiators, Ray Lewis was perhaps the most feared and respected, the epitome of leadership and the heart and soul of the Baltimore Ravens for decades. Today, we're going to take a look at just how good Ray Lewis was actually.
Okay, scoring touchdowns and making tackles like a runaway truck, bro. We're off to a good start. Let's go.
Raymond Jenkins was born in Bartow, Florida. Yeah, you heard that right, Raymond Jenkins. His mother was just 16 when he was born, and his father was incarcerated for most of his life. Young Ray became the father figure of the house for his 5 siblings.
Already impressive.
That passion for family and disgust for his father's lack of value in it led him to change his last name to Lewis.
That we also probably had like a big part of his drive as a player.
Name of his mother's boyfriend. When every corner of Lakeland, Florida, the town he grew up in, crawled with criminals, it was Lewis's main goal to get his mother out of there, to take care of her, and that motivated him to stay away from the streets.
Huge respect from my guy already, bro. We're off to a very good start.
As a kid, his competitive drive in neighborhood football games under streetlights led him to be a dominant player underneath the Friday night lights as well. As a sophomore,
Friday night lights, is that high school?
In high school, he got on the field mid-season and never looked back, playing safety, as he was considered too small to be a linebacker, a claim that followed him throughout his career. Lewis only knew one speed.
Isn't the guy like super big?
On the field, full go. And that served him well as he played on both sides of the ball as a senior, running the rock on offense and running sideline to sideline as a back row on defense. As rare as a talent as there was, Lewis overcame his small size with intensity and instincts, becoming an All-American linebacker and a state champion wrestler on top of that. After
dual athlete.
Florida State, his dream school, chose someone else over him, Ray was actually the very last recipient of a scholarship to the University of Miami in 1993. With a team as dominant as the Miami Hurricanes were in the 90s, freshmen didn't typically see the field. Well,
bro, look, he's like a teenager and looking like an absolute beast.
Unless that freshman is Ray Lewis. Canes officials told him he wouldn't play early on, and he wasn't even included in the media guide. Lewis didn't need a fire lit, but now he had one. He was inserted into a Week 3 game against Colorado due to injury and had 17 tackles to help Miami win a 35-29 thriller on
17 tackles in your debut. I guess that's pretty good.
His debut. He played every game for the remainder of his college career, and he finished his freshman year as a starter for the final 5 games and being named to the freshman All-American team. As a sophomore, he led the Big East with 152 tackles, breaking the Canes' single-season tackle record, and was named an All-American. As a junior, he eclipsed that by breaking his own record with 160 tackles, leading the #1 defense in the nation and falling just short of a national championship.
Bro, what an absolute beast, and we're not even in the NFL yet.
Ray Lewis's time at the U was historic, but the NFL was calling and he was listening. He passed up his senior year to enter the 1996 NFL Draft. It would be insane to have the first 2 draft picks in your franchise's existence be Hall of Famers. Well,
bro, good picks.
Well, that's exactly what the inaugural Baltimore Ravens did when they selected Jonathan Ogden and Ray Lewis in the first round. With the 4th overall pick, they took Ogden. With the 26th overall pick, they took Ray. Many scouts loved Lewis, but hated his lack of size, saying it would limit his potential.
Bro, what lack of size? Do they mean height? Because this guy is a monster.
Boy, were they wrong.
Yeah, they were.
In his first game, with no leaders on the field and a complete lack of talent around him with the upstart Ravens, Ray Lewis took the reins immediately. He was already the heart and soul of the Baltimore Ravens in his NFL debut.
But didn't like the Ravens have like in 2000 like the best defense ever or something like that? Like how could they be in that bad when he started? Because he started like in 96 or 7.
Against the Oakland Raiders, Lewis and his legendary purple number 52 were all over the field. He finished with 7 tackles and stole a pick right off of a Raider's hands. That interception sealed the first win in Ravens history, and it was only right it was due to the play of
Oh yeah, he's kind of short.
Ray Lewis. The remainder of the 96 season was a struggle for the Ravens, but Ray shined through. The young Ravens finished 4-12, while Lewis finished the season with 100-plus tackles, 15 for loss, 2 sacks, and a nomination to the NFL All-Rookie team.
I guess that's pretty good.
In 97, just his second year in the league, Lewis cemented himself as the premier linebacker in football. He recorded 184 tackles and a still-standing NFL record of 156 solo tackles.
Bro, that's insane numbers.
Ravens improved.
Like, I don't even know football, but I know that.
Into a middle-of-the-pack team where they would
Puma. Do you guys actually have Puma as your game jersey creator? I thought you guys had like Under Armour and Nike only.
For the next 2 years, while Lewis was an absolute force, making 3 straight Pro Bowls from 97 to 99 and leading the league in tackles in 97 and 99.
Bro, 3 straight Pro Bowls.
And the year 2000. Ray was always the best player on the field, and he made the players around him better. He brought out their passion and raised their play.
That's exactly what you want in a player. Nothing more, nothing less.
Ryan, longtime NFL coach, said of Lewis. And 2000 was the symbol of everything Ray Lewis stood for. The Ravens were loaded on defense, with Rod Woodson, Chris McAllister, and Dwayne Starks in the secondary, Sam Adams and Tony Siragusa clogging up the middle, Peter Boulware and Rob Burnett on the edge, and of course, their leader, Ray Lewis, inspiring this special group. What they did is considered arguably the greatest defensive season in NFL history. Firstly, they forced 49 turnovers in
49 turnovers, dude. That's very impressive.
16 games. The Ravens opened the season up, forcing 3 shutouts in the first 6 games.
Okay.
On the way to a 5-1 record.
Shutout, that's like when the other team scores 0 points, right?
Lewis-led defense kept the Ravens in every game, including winning 2 when the offense was kept out of the end zone for 5 straight games. 5 straight.
What bro, this is just insane.
They had no help at all from
This is actually insane.
Their offensive counterpart, yet they still held opposing offenses to the lowest amount of points allowed in 16 games schedule history. They averaged just 10 points allowed per game and finished with 4 shutouts, just 1 shy of the Steel Curtain's 1976 record. Running the ball on them? Forget about it. They are the only team ever to hold opponents under 1,000 rushing yards over an entire season.
Bro, that's insane. What a team.
Lewis, with 137 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 3 fumble recoveries, won NFL Defensive Player of the Year. But the year became even more special in the playoffs. They suffocated the AFC, allowing just 1 touchdown in their first 3 playoff games, all while being wildcard road warriors. In the rubber match with the Titans in the divisional round, it was Lewis's clutch 50-yard interception that sealed the game. They met the Giants.
Bro, what a steal.
In Super Bowl 30.
Bro, look at his face, though. Dude looks like he's actually about to murder someone.
5, where Lewis and the Ravens defense put together one of the most dominant performances we've ever seen. They completely shut down the Giants and scored more points on defense than the Giants could on offense.
Bro, do you guys even hear that? More points on defense than the Giants did on offense. Bro, what is going on?
Ended up with a 34-7 victory in which Ray Lewis was named Super Bowl MVP. It was the storybook script that Lewis dreamed of, from a dirt-poor Lakeland kid to Super Bowl MVP. The biggest thing he became known for, other than his fiery passion, came the next season. In an effort to fire up the 0-1 Ravens, Ray Lewis decided to bring a dance created by childhood friend Herbie Lee to life, and the Squirrel dance was born. Hot in Here by Nelly hits the stadium piano, and the NFL's most vicious gladiator bursts out of the tunnel screaming and sliding from left to right.
What kind of dance is this?
The dance was meant to give a spark, and it turned into a battle cry. It ignited the fans. It pumped up his Ravens teammates. Even opponents made sure to watch Ray Lewis dance.
Bro, you know you made it when your enemies are standing, watching, laughing, and dancing with you, bro.
It meant they were about to lace it up for 60 minutes with one of the greatest to ever do it. The Ravens finished the 2001 season with a 10-6 record, and Lewis was named to his 5th straight Pro Bowl and 3rd straight first-team All-Pro. The Ravens beat the Dolphins in the wild-card round before eventually losing to a divisional round matchup with the Steelers. Lewis's 2002 season was derailed due to injury, and the Ravens struggled without their leader, going 7-9 on the year. In 2003, he won his 2nd Defensive Player of the Year award, and the Ravens got back on track, making the playoffs again.
What what? This guy just feels like he has such like an impact.
They were bounced in the first round by the Titans. 04 was more of the same for Ray.
Like a real leader, and I really love the fact that, you know, they are like talking about him as the Ravens instead of like any QB, because like every time like I see like all these videos we're checking out, whenever they talk about the team, they always like talk about the quarterback in their team, like the quarterback is like the main person, etc, etc. It's really refreshing to see the main person in the team being like a defensive player or like someone who's just not a quarterback.
Another first-team All-Pro season, and we think Lewis inspired Madden to create the hit stick when he graced the cover of Madden 2005.
Let's go!
Unfortunately, Ray was not immune to the Madden curse, as his 05 season was...
The what? What's the Madden curse?
Cut short.
Madden curse.
Due to injury. In 06, Lewis banded together another great set of players on the Ravens' stingy defense, including Terrell Suggs, Bart Scott, and another emerging superstar for the Ravens in safety Ed Reed. After leading the league in every defensive category, Lewis and the Ravens met their ultimate rival in the playoffs, the league's best offense in Peyton Manning and the Colts.
Oh
Lewis
yeah.
shut down the game's most
That's gotta be Tom Brady's biggest rival too, right?
prolific passer, keeping the Colts out of the end zone, but it didn't matter as they fell short to the eventual Super Bowl champions 15-6. While Ray Lewis continued his great form in 07, being selected for another Pro Bowl, the Ravens struggled. However, in 2008, they returned to dominance under a new head coach, John Harbaugh. Ray Lewis made the first All-Pro team again for the first time since 04, and the Ravens made a deep playoff run, falling moments short of the Super Bowl with a loss to the Steelers in the conference championship. This led to another moment that would help cement Lewis's legacy. That offseason, Ray Lewis would be a free agent for the first time in his career. Courted by the Cowboys and the Chargers, it took all of 10 days for Lewis to realize, I couldn't be anywhere else. This is me. It's not about the money, it's more about the legacy.
That's where you have a character right there.
I think it was a true recipe for leadership to go down with the ship. Through all our down years, making sure my city knows I'll be here forever. Ray Lewis was a Ray.
That's what you want in a player, bro. Someone, I know, and of course it's easy to say this when you're sitting with all the millions, but still like, you know, family's family, right?
Even more than anybody else was. He exemplified their franchise and refused to play anywhere else as he signed a 7-year, $44.5 million contract. $44.5 million, bro. That's not peanuts. Very much a hometown discount, though he didn't know it at the time that his loyalty would be rewarded. To be expected, Lewis outplayed that contract, averaging over 100 tackles and making the Pro Bowl.
Bro, twisted that guy's spine.
For each of the next 3 seasons, including his final All-Pro nod in 2009. But the Ravens just could not get over the hump in the playoffs, losing twice in the divisional round and once in the conference championship in 2011. Now a 17-year vet, Lewis missed 10 games in 2012 with 2 torn triceps. He didn't have much.
2 torn triceps. Do you understand how devastating that gotta be?
Left in the tank. He came back for the playoffs.
How can you even like make a tackle after that?
When no one expected he would, then made an announcement that no one expected. This would be his last ride. In what would be Ray's final home game,
like just out of nowhere?
The Ravens beat the Colts 24-9 in the wild card round. On the last play, Lewis lined up in victory and led the crowd in one last squirrel dance routine.
Let's go!
The crowd went wild. You could
bro, look at this picture, bro. You can just feel the heat from here.
Feel the goosebumps through the TV. Then the Ravens did what no one expected. They went on a run. It would take a miracle, a mile-high miracle. Down by 7, Joe Flacco threw up a prayer. It was answered by Jacoby Jones streaking down the field for a game-tying 70-yard touchdown. Lewis then captained 2 shutdown overtime periods over his arch-rival Peyton Manning to beat the Broncos in double overtime. The next week, the Ravens throttled Tom Brady's Patriots in the AFC Championship game, avenging their last 2 postseason losses. In the same game,
bro, they were on a roll.
Lewis re-aggravated his torn triceps. But if you thought that was keeping Ray Lewis out of Super Bowl 47, you haven't been listening.
He was playing with a torn triceps?
It was his last ride, and he was going out on his shield. In the Super Bowl, the Ravens dominated to start the game, jumping out to a 28-6.
How can you play with a torn triceps? That's just insane.
Lead. Then, after a strange power outage, the Niners came surging back to make it a 1-score game. It all came down to one last play. It would take one last heroic goal line stand. The Ravens sent the house as Colin Kaepernick lofted a ball into the end zone.
Yo, I heard so much about this dude, this Colin dude. People are like, so many people are just hating him. Can you tell me why? Like, what did he do?
Being in the air for what felt like an eternity, that ball fell harmlessly to the ground. Ray Lewis would go out.
Yo, he went out with a bang.
After 17 years, Lewis retired, the only 2,000 tackle player in NFL history, and the NFL record holder with over 1,500 solo tackles. He went to the Pro Bowl in 3 different decades, 13 times in total, and made 7 first All-Pro teams.
I don't even know what to say.
His 31 interceptions, his top 5 all-time among linebackers. He won 2 NFL Defensive Player of the Year awards, becoming just one of 8 players to ever accomplish the feat. Just 4 years after his playing days ended, he got the call. He was a unanimous first ballot.
Yeah, of course he was.
Hall of Famer. How good was Ray Lewis actually? He's the greatest Raven to ever live, the greatest middle linebacker to ever live, and more importantly, the greatest leader to ever play the game.
Do you guys agree? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for recommending me this video. And bro, what a video. If you guys want me to check out like more Ray Lewis highlights, I know there were like a couple of videos. Let me know in the comments down below as well, like which one I should react to, which one I should watch. But bro, what a video. What an absolute animal this guy is. Wow, thank you guys so much again for recommending me this one. What an absolute beast. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe to not miss out on any more reactional content, and comment down below what you want to see in the next video. That was everything for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys around in the next one.